Okay, so in this chapter, which is chapter 4 of Fundamentals of English Grammar, you're going to learn about the present perfect and the past perfect. This is lesson 1. So in this lesson, you'll learn about the present perfect. So let's look at what you already know. So in this one, we want to choose the correct form of the verb. So for the first one, it says, have you ever eaten at Don Pico's restaurant? Yes, we ate, have ever eaten, or eaten. So in this one, eaten is the correct answer. Have you ever been to Vietnam? No, I never, haven't ever, or have ever been there. It should be haven't ever been there. How long have you lived here? I've lived here for, in, since 5 years. So the correct answer is for 5 years. I haven't seen Maria for, by, since last week. The correct answer is since. And Lynn and I are, have been friends since we met in high school. The correct answer is have been. So let's start talking first about chart 4-1. First, you need to know the past participle. Regular verbs have the same simple past and past participle forms, but irregular verbs can have different simple past and past participle forms. Here are some examples. First, regular verbs. Talk, talked. Discuss, discussed. Now, irregular verbs. Sit, sat. Sit, sat. Understand, understood. You need to memorize the irregular forms. Look at the inside back of your book for a list of irregular verbs. So let's play a little bit of a game here with the past participle. So in these ones, you're going to be given a verb and you need to give the past participle. Now, for those of you guys who learned the verb forms as numbered, we're looking for the third form of the verb. So the verb is sleep. What's the past participle? Slept. The verb is take. What's the past participle? Taken. Not took, which you might have wanted to say. That's just the simple past. Go. The past participle is gone, not went. Remember, went is a simple past. Find. The past participle, found. So in this one, the simple past is the same as the past participle. So make, the past participle, made. Again, this is the same as the simple past. See, the past participle, seen. This one's different. It's not saw. Know, the past participle, known, not knew, which is a simple past. Put, the past participle, is put. This one's an easy one. All three are the same. Begin, the past participle, begun, not began. Began is the simple past. Understand, the past participle, understood. So this one is the same as a simple past. So let's move on to chart 4-2. The present perfect is formed with have or has plus the past participle. We use the present perfect when we don't know the exact time that something happened in the past. So, have you ever been to Paris? No, I've never been to Paris. The words ever and never do not give the exact time. So in this example, ever means in your lifetime, and never means not in my lifetime, but there's no specific time that's given. We also use the present perfect with these words, already, yet, just, and recently. We don't know the exact time. Look at the examples. Micah has just gotten his first job. Leah has recently visited Singapore. I've already eaten lunch today. So in all of these are events that happened in the past, but we don't know exactly when they happened. Use just or recently to show that an activity happened sometime before now, not long ago. Our company has recently added more jobs. I've just read the report. An activity might repeat several times before now at unspecified times in the past. Use the present perfect to show the person may do it again, as in the examples, I've been to Central Park many times. I've gone for several walks there. I've taken many pictures in the park. So we're using the present perfect in these cases because we have an unspecified time in the past, something that has repeated itself and may continue in the present, may keep on going. So use already to show something that happened before this time. Tyler has already taken his first steps. Use yet to show something that did not happen before now, but it may happen in the future. Emma hasn't walked by herself yet, but she may in the future. We use already in affirmative statements. Already can go in the middle of the verb or at the end of the sentence. Tyler has already taken his first steps. Notice that already comes between the word has and taken. We can also say, Tyler has taken his first steps already. Both of them are correct. You use yet in negative statements. Emma hasn't walked by herself yet. For questions, we can use already or yet. Has she already seen that movie? Has she seen that movie already? Has she seen the movie yet? All of these ones have the same meaning to them. Keep in mind, one thing we didn't mention, but that yet has to come at the end of the sentence. It does not come between the two verbs. So we also use the present perfect with since and for with situations that began in the past and continue until now. Let's look at this. She has been here since 6 a.m. or she has been here for 10 hours. So we're talking about something that happened in the past and continues up until right now. It may or may not end in the future, but we know that it has continued up until now. We use since to show that an activity began at a specific time and continues until now. So in this case, it began specifically at 6 a.m. and has continued up until now and will finish sometime in the future. Since shows the beginning time. For example, I have worked here since 8 o'clock, or since yesterday, since last week, since last month, since January, since 2018. So it is showing us the beginning time for the action. Since can also introduce a time clause. Look at the examples. We have been friends since I was 15. Jim has played many sports since he quit soccer. Use for with a length of time. I have worked here for 50 minutes, or for 5 hours, for 10 days, for about 6 weeks, for almost 2 months, for many years, for a long time. So we use for with the length of time, since with the beginning time. So complete these sentences. Use the correct form of the verb. Use the correct word order. So we have the verb work here. So again, in all of these ones, what we're using is we're using the present perfect. Remember, the present perfect has two parts. It begins with either has or have, and then it has the third form or the past participle form of the verb. So for number 1, it should be Ben has worked at the hospital for 15 years. Zach, and in this case, we want to include both the word never and travel. So Zach has never traveled overseas. In this one, we're going to make it negative. So remember, when we're making a negative with the present perfect, we do not need to include the word do or does. We just simply make has or have into the negative. So in this one, it will be Tori has not finished her homework yet. Again, here's another negative. So again, we're not going to include do or does. So I have not seen Kevin since yesterday. And in this form, we're making a question. And in the question, we're using the word ever. Just like when we're making a negative in the present perfect, we don't need to include do or does. We're simply going to put has or have in the place where we would normally put do or does. So this one should be, have you ever eaten Korean food? So for more practice, try the exercises in charts 4-1 to 4-8.